Oh, now I don't hardly know.
On the morning the last Lisbon daughter took her turn at suicide, it was Mary this time, and sleeping pills like to rest. The two paramedics arrived at the house, knowing exactly where the knife drawer was and the gas oven, and the beam in the basement from which it was possible to tie a rope. The novel starts with the last Lisbon girl's death, in a sense starting off the story letting you know that the rest of the writing is mostly based on speculations, encounters, and evidence from the narrators or neighborhood boys. The book is played backwards, almost like rewinding on a cassette, looking for new information about the girls' deaths. The boys themselves can be said to be unreliable narrators. From the writing, we can also tell that the paramedics have already been to the house multiple times before because of the knowledge of where every possible death could happen. Throughout the book, there's a great amount of Catholic imagery. The girl's inability to be buried because of the cemetery workers' protest and the Virgin Mary card Cecilia had on her chest in the tub. Some of the girls' names have religious connotation. Lux, light in Latin, can be related to Gothic stained glass windows, a new light in the story, the catalyst that spiraled the girls' lives out of control. A pious household keeping the girls' family in check, like nuns in a monastery, vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Eugene's style during the novel is written in an ethereal, beautiful, and dreamlike way, a contrast to the dark events that plague the book. The deaths of the girls are also written in a peaceful manner. The girls took into their own hands decisions better left to God. They became too powerful to live among us, too self-concerned, too visionary, too blind. What lingered after them was not life. But when the boys are trying to examine things, he treats certain stories and objects as exhibits of evidence. Sometimes we caught sight of tattered knee socks rounding a corner, or came upon them doubled over shoving books into a cubbyhole, flicking the hair out of their eyes. But it was always the same, their white faces drifting in slow motion past us, while we pretended we hadn't been looking for them at all, that we didn't know they existed. The boys look at the girls otherworldly, like angels on earth, slowing everything around them. They look, but never have the intention of wanting the girls to notice. The relationship between the two groups is a one-way road. The boys analyze the Lisbon girls' lives, but the girls are in a complete different plane, never examining them. No one can understand how Mr. and Mrs. Lisbon could have produced such beautiful children. It didn't matter in the end how old they had been, or that they were girls, but only that we had loved them, and that they hadn't heard us calling, so do not hear us. Up here in the treehouse, with our thinning hair and soft bellies, calling them out of those rooms where they went to be alone for all time, alone in suicide, which is deeper than death, and where we will never find the pieces to put them back together. The boys will never find out why they did it, but to continue to dream about their adolescent loves and reminisce of the moments they had, looking at the Lisbon sisters. They never solved the case, even years after the events of the book. The closing scene can be compared to a closing argument in a court case. They are the lawyers, and we are the jury, ourselves questioning the girls like they did.